Mayor Baker is indisposed this evening, so I will chair the meeting tonight. That's per what, 3220?
3220, since you are the top vote getter, you are only one meetings under that.
Lucky me. Roll call, please, Ms. Klein.
Member Levens. Member Volter.
Here.
Member Neary.
Here.
Member Neiman.
Here.
Member Kelly.
Here.
Member Wyrick.
Here.
City Administrator Fawcett.
Here.
City Attorney Edmondson.
All right, thank you very much. Now we'll have a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, the mayor's report is he left us 16 orders and ordinances to go through tonight. So we'll try and keep this under 4 hours. I need a motion to approve the minutes from the July 9th, 2024 meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by member Nia
I'll second it.
and second by Mr. Walker. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Good. Now, this will be open to public comments from the audience regarding legislative items on tonight's agenda. Anybody? Okay, let's go right through that. Now, let's start on the ordinances. First is the second reading of ordinance 2024-9. Ms. Klein?
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Dayton, Kentucky, vacating a portion of Kenton Street right-of-way pursuant to KRS 82405.
Okay, this is the issue up on 7th and Kenton where they're planning to develop it. Do we have any comments or questions?
I think this was rolled over from the last meeting because it was an exhibit that.
Yes.
Correct.
Yep.
Any questions or comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Well, somebody's got to,
Oh, I would need a motion.
I'll make the motion to accept ordinance 2024 number 9.
I'll second the
Um,
motion for 2024-9.
Okay, so it goes, motion made by member Volter and seconded by Ms. Kelly. Roll call, please.
Member Volter.
Aye.
Member Neary.
Aye,
Member Neiman.
Aye.
Member Kelly.
Aye.
Member Wyrick.
Aye.
all passed. Thank you. Next, we have second reading of ordinance 2024-10. Ms. Klein?
An ordinance amending sections 92.10, 92.11, 92.12, 92.13, 92.14, and 92.15 of Title IX General Regulations of the City of Dayton Code of Ordinances prohibiting excessive noise, including animal penalties, criminal penalties, and other enforcement provisions for failure to comply with the ordinance.
So this is second reading. Do I have a motion on 2024-10?
I have one comment before.
Okay.
I was going to ask if I remember correctly when this topic came up, Mr. Huntley had mentioned that a lot of the noise was coming from like the B&B riverboats. And so,
Not B&B, it's the ones that come off of Queen City.
okay, so are they're not commercial
I have
then?
not heard anything for like the last month or so I don't know whether that means that they've stopped the noise or.
No, my question is, are they commercial or are these private boats?
These are commercial.
Okay.
Commercial boats, they
'Cause-
rent the boats out, there's parties, whatever.
Right.
They have a DJ that plays late in the evening, at least they did. I haven't heard it for a while.
Right, but all I was going to ask was if this passed, could we, at least as a courtesy, let them know that we have changed our ordinances to make them more aware of it?
That's the plan.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Then I need a motion.
I'll move to accept 2024 number 10.
Motion made by member Volter. Do I have a second?
Wait, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Sorry, I'm thinking, I remember we talked about this, we talked about fireworks, but it was really about these boats. But the way it's worded, it's for everybody, excessive, like, it's not about boats.
It's not just about boats, it's about any noise.
So like, how do you judge what's too noisy or excessive noise?
It's pretty
And
much-
what are the criminal penalties?
There are no criminal, there are criminal penalties, so the noise that, prevalent noise is anything that is, it's a reasonable land standard, basically, that criminal noise made from outwardly or at a distance of 75 feet from the building or structure or 100 feet from the source of the noise not located in the building or structure shall be considered prima facie evidence of violation, and under no circumstances shall it exceed 75 decibels. So we have decibel noise readers that will tell the noise.
So say you have neighbors across the street setting off fireworks all summer.
Well, they should be, it's not allowed, they're near the properties, fireworks have to be away from property, so that's, we have a separate violation of fireworks in our ordinance, but that would always satisfy the noise ordinance as well.
Okay.
So you
Or
have-
like, say, a barking dog for a really long time.
I don't know if a barking dog would be satisfied with 75 decibels. but
Okay,
it
so,
would.
okay, thank you.
Barking dogs are actually covered under the animals
True, I'm
area.
trying to think of what other scenario would be common for this kind of thing, like what's so noisy? Is it a party, like, or it's just really,
Most parties sometimes.
party with loud music? I don't know how much 75 decibels is.
Sometimes construction noise, and
Okay.
they do it too early in the morning, and we have limitations on when they can do that. Demolition excavation has to be between 7 AM and 7 PM, so you can't do it at midnight. There's some people trying to get stuff done, they do that, so, but it can be, generally, it can be a motorcycle, a boat, could be any noise that's generated with an amplified speaker system.
Okay.
So a party could be another example.
Thank you.
And Chief, when we discussed this earlier, we talked about having a decibel meter versus something on your phone. Great, because I know that was an issue before, many years ago, where there was a noise complaint, but nobody could measure the decibels.
So if you had a problem, you would call the police and the police would have to measure it with their decibel meter.
That's what they would do, yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Okey-dokey.
So I have a motion by member Volter. Do I have a second?
Second,
Second by member Neiman. Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Member Neary,
Aye.
Member Neiman,
aye.
Member Kelly,
Aye.
Member Wyrick.
Aye.
Member Volter.
Aye.
All right, and it passes unanimously. Thank you. Second reading of ordinance 2024-11.
An ordinance amending Chapter 91 of the City of Dayton Code of Ordinances regarding the removal of animal excrement in the city, including civil fines for the failure to comply with the ordinance.
I am really glad to see this on the books, that the fine is going up to $100 for the first offense. I'd like to make it double or triple in a park because I think too many people are using our parks as a dog walking area and not cleaning up after them. That's just my opinion on it. Do I have a motion or any other comments?
I have a comment. I can't remember if I asked this before. Where'd this
Pull your
come from?
microphone.
Do we have a lot of complaints?
Yes.
Okay.
Usually it's Monument Park, but not there being people who have yards and dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs going there, so it's private property and public property.
Okey-dokey.
And as a reminder, the flood wall is a city park. And I know a lot of people walking their dogs. We got to consider that the same, because Public Works has to deal with it then.
I was just wondering if it was public request.
The biggest
There are a lot
area,
of complaints.
biggest area is the Monument Park and the flood.
Okay.
A lot of dogs and locations.
Gross.
So do I have any motion on 2024-11?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by member Kelly.
2024-11.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by member Walker. Roll call, please.
Member Neiman,
Aye.
Member Kelly,
Aye.
Member Wyrick,
Aye.
Member Volter,
Aye.
Member Neary.
Aye. And since Mayor Baker can't be here tonight, and I know they just got a puppy, and we just passed that he has to clean up the excrement from his new puppy. Here's a whole bag of mutt mitts for him. They're the good ones. For Carl, yes. All right, next we have 2024-12.
An ordinance amending Chapter 31 of the Dayton Code of Ordinances to update information about non-elected officials and city employees.
Do we have any questions or comments on this? I've just got the one about the alcoholic beverage control.
Yeah, we made the change and we sent that out. The current version has that in there. This was basically clean up of our ordinances that got rid of some positions we don't have now and adding new ones that we do have.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion on 2024-12?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by member Neiman. I can't second or make a motion.
Second.
Second by member Volter. Roll call, please.
Member Kelly.
Aye.
Member Wyrick.
Aye.
Member Volter.
Aye.
Member Neary.
Aye.
Member Neiman.
All right, rolling through them. 2024-13 for a second reading.
An ordinance repealing and replacing ordinance 22-19, setting forth compensation and number of authorized positions for employees under the Dayton classification system.
So any comments or questions on this? This is basically setting the salary ranges, just minimums and maximums, not the current salaries. Do I have a motion on 2024-13?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by member Kelly,
Second.
second by member Volter. Roll call, please.
Member Wyrick.
Aye.
Member Volter.
Aye.
Member Neary.
Aye.
Member Neiman.
Aye.
Member Kelly.
Aye.
All right, cruising through them. Second reading of 2024-14.
An ordinance amending the City of Dayton, Kentucky's annual budget for the fiscal year running from July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024, and estimating revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the city to the full extent authorized by KRS 82082 and interpretive case law.
Could you give a brief explanation on this, Jay?
Yeah, so every year you do a fiscal year budget. Of course, one thing we know about the budget, it's never going to be exactly right at the end of the year. What this does basically takes what the actual revenues are and amends our budget to reflect that at the end of the fiscal year.
Okay, I think this is the second time we've had to amend this now. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
it's not unusual. I mean, it
Okay.
happens during the course of the year.
And this is for last year's budget,
Yes.
2023-24.
Exactly. So this will be the final say on that budget.
Okay. Any questions on 2024-14 or a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
2024-14.
Motion made by member Kelly. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by member Neiman. Let's do a roll call.
Member Volter.
Aye.
Member Neary.
Aye.
Member Neiman.
Aye.
Member Kelly.
Aye.
Member Wyrick.
Aye.
Okay, originally we had 2024-15 as the zoning ordinance, which has been removed and for tonight and replaced by 2024-15 first reading, an ordinance providing for the imposition levy collection. Oh, I'm sorry, that's your part to read. Go ahead.
You're doing great.
2024-15, please.
An ordinance providing for the imposition levy collection and apportionment of taxes for the city of Dayton, Campbell County, Kentucky for the fiscal year July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025.
I know this is a first reading, but this is wonderful news, and I think you should share that with everyone.
So this means that our tax rate will go down 15%, which is a tremendous reduction. It's the biggest drop in city's tax rate in 25 years. That's the furthest we can track back to 2021 or 2020. So I think it may be the biggest ever, quite honestly, but I don't have historic records at this point to determine that. So the reason that we have this is that our assessed value in the city went up 30%. And so as a result of that, and because of what state law requires in terms of compensating rate, we can only tax the same amount of property that we had the previous year.
Same amount of revenue.
Revenue.
Same amount of revenue, tax revenue, this previous year, which we have 4% to cover inflation costs that we had. Even doing that, we have to reduce our tax rate by 15%. And it's because we've had reassessment of all our properties, we've had new development that's been occurring, and we've had a lot of rehabs of existing properties in the city. I think the remember is that the first year that new development goes on, it's not counted at this. That It won't happen until next year and subsequent years. So we've got a lot of new development that happened in the past year that just needs to reflect this year, or will be reflected next year. So this is a big deal, and it's a great thing for the residents. Basically, if you have a $100,000 house, you were paying $476 last year. This year, we're paying $399 in city taxes. That's a $77 reduction in taxes.
That's great. That's what we've been working towards to get property values up, because when your property value goes up, your equity goes up. And someday you or your heirs are going to be selling that house. This is the first reading on this. As I said, this is great that this is going this direction versus the opposite direction, which it's did for too many years. Any other comments on the tax rate for this year?
Can we share this graph?
Yeah, there's a chart up there, and you can see, so,
Right. Is it going to be shared on the website?
what's that?
Is it going to be shared on our
We can put it
website?
on the website, absolutely.
Okay.
But we'll do a press release. So, this shows the tax rates from 2020, I think. I can't really see it there. 2021.
2000.
I mean, 2001.
Right.
2021. And so basically you have a 24-year window. And the last time we were under 4% was back 15 years ago. So what you can see is that every 4 years, when assessments occur, the first couple of years, the rates go down because we had to meet the compensating rates. So you see 4 years down, 4 years down. And then because of the pandemic, and other reasons, the PBA did not assess them on their normal 4-year period. So the rates continue to go up. But now they reassessed last year, and it reflected a lot of the changes that have happened in the community in terms of new development, rehab, and just centralized value properties in the city, and it went down tremendously by 50%.
That's something to toot our horn on there, definitely. Okay, any other comments or questions on that? Then we'll move on to Order Resolution 2024-15R. Ms. Klein, the long one.
An order resolution authorizing the city administrator of the city of Dayton, Kentucky to execute and deliver an application to the City of Dayton, Kentucky Planning Commission to facilitate site plan review of the High Point Townhome development subject to 1, the city's receipt of all outstanding payments in lieu of taxes together with penalties thereon from Manhattan Development Co. LLC and affiliates, and 2, the execution and delivery by SSWN Development LLC of a declaration of easement encumbering certain city-owned real property upon which the High Point Townhome development is proposed to be located for the purpose of advancing the city's Riverfront Commons Trail project through the development of a trail access path, authorizing the mayor to execute and deliver of such other instruments and agreements as may be required to facilitate the installation, construction, and equipping of the real property with the trail access path.
Well, that was about, let me try to explain. This development is High Point, which is up here at the top of Ferry Street to the east, just immediately to the east. These are condo, I think there's 6 units that are proposed, and I think they're estimating each condo unit to be around $1 million. That's what I'm hearing. But we are okay with doing that, and we own the property because it's an IRB property, so technically the city owns that property, leases it to the developer during the period of the IRB, which is 30 years. And then when that's over, they get full deed title to the property. In order to get zoning approved, and which they go through the zoning process here, and get a site plan approved, we have to sign off. We're fine doing that, but we told the developer, you've got to do 2 things before we do it. 1, you got to owe us the money on pilot payments from last year. You got to pay those. And 2, you get an easement that goes across the property there where we're going to put the new ramp, ADA ramp going up on the lower trail. And you need to sign an easement agreement, which we sent them similar to. So once that's done, I'll sign an application and get the process going, but I'm not doing it until that happens.
Any questions on this from the council?
Move to accept Order Resolution 2024-15R.
Motion made by Member Volter. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Member Walker. Roll call, please.
Member Neary,
Aye.
Member Neiman,
Aye.
Member Kelly,
Aye.
Member Wyrick,
Aye.
Member Volter.
Aye.
Passed unanimously. Great. Next, we have Order Resolution 2024-16R.
An order resolution establishing a city cost share program for residential property owners to repair or replace existing sidewalks, curbs, and driveway aprons abutting their property.
This is a order resolution that came out of our strategic planning session meeting here in the spring. And this is one of the priorities for city council that we had put in the budget. We budgeted $50,000 for this project. And under this project, city residents can have their streets, they're responsible for maintaining their sidewalks and street curbs under our ordinances. But they can work with the city, and the city will pay half of that cost, up to $2,500. If they want to have the work done. So this will allow them to get city money to help them improve the sidewalks and curbs in their neighborhood and in front of their houses. These are just abutting properties along the streets, not private, not sidewalks that go into your yard and private property, but on the public right of way area is what this is for. There are a number of regulations about what you need to do. We have authorized contractors that we will approve, and there's a process, and we're in the process of creating the application for that right now, and we hope to have that ready to go by the end of this month. So I would think that we can kick this off September 1, hopefully.
I have a question. So what's the cutoff for, like,
Once the money is
financially?
exhausted, we've only budgeted $50,000 for it, so that's essentially what 20 of these projects. So once that money's gone, we're done until council decides whether it wants to continue to budget that next year.
Okay.
We had this program in the past. I'm not sure when it was discontinued. I think about 8 years ago.
Budget, right?
Budget reasons, yeah. But since we're becoming more aware of pedestrian safety and a lot more people walking around because it's a safe community, sidewalks become even more important.
And we're also going to probably start stepping up enforcement on and sidewalks. So this week, and all this program goes for the site and say, hey, you can take advantage of this in order to fix the sidewalks. So that's what we're probably not doing.
So do we have any comments or questions or none? Okay, I need a motion on 2024-16R.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by member Neiman,
I'll second.
second by member Kelly. Want to do a roll call?
Member Neiman.
Aye.
Member Kelly.
Aye.
Member Wyrick.
Aye.
Member Volter.
Aye.
Member Neary.
Aye. Thank you. Next, we have another one for Tristan to read, 2024-17R.
An order resolution establishing a city cost share program for installation of off-street parking on residential properties in the city.
So this is another program that was discussed at the strategic planning session and funded in this year's fiscal year budget. This involves private property where we are encouraging people to get cars off the sidewalk and then to use they have access to an alley, to use the back of their house if they have room to do this for parking, off-street parking. If they want to do that, the city will contribute up to $1,000 towards that project. It's on private property, so it's not like the public property, so we spend an amount of money a little bit, and I think these projects may not be as expensive as they could be, I guess, because of how big we're making. But the idea is to help them create off-street parking on their property for their vehicles.
Does this include not just in the rear of the property, but also on the side of the property?
If I think that if it is on a corner of a corner lot, then that would work, I believe.
Be subject to setback, probably.
Yeah, there are some requirements for setbacks and also driveway, how wide, some people try to put the driveway next to the house, getting to the door, that's not permitted under our zoning code, so
Right.
yes, satisfy those requirements.
Gotcha. It's a prime example right behind us here. They put that off-street parking in and.
6 spots there. Yep.
So do I have any other comments or questions on 2020-17 or 2024-17R? If not, I'll need a motion. Council,
I'll make,
that motion.
a motion by member Neiman,
I'll second that motion.
second by member Walker. Let's do a roll call.
Member Kelly.
aye.
Member Wyrick.
Aye.
Member Volter.
Aye.
Member Neary.
Aye.
Member Neiman.
Aye. Order Resolution 2024-18R.
An order authorizing the mayor to enter into an interlocal agreement with the city of Bellevue to allow visitors with alcoholic beverages in approved entertainment district cups in these districts in cities of Bellevue and Dayton to freely enter and depart each respective district.
So as you all know, we have a entertainment district that runs from Fallon down to Maine. And Bellevue has a similar district running from Fallon to, I'm not sure where it ends, but probably down where Buckhead is, that area. They butt each other, but under state law right now, regulations right now, you can't go from our entertainment district with a drink into their entertainment district. So last year, we started talking to the ACC about this, and then they said no, and then they have to say that Assistant City Administrator Jared Barks has been very persistent about working with the ABC and with Bellevue. They've gotten to a position where they've said if you enter into an interlocal agreement with Bellevue and your regulations for the districts are the same, and enter into this agreement saying that, we will consider allowing you to do this. So that's what we met with Bellevue maybe a week ago, here, maybe 2 weeks ago, kind of work through this, work through an interlocal agreement, and our regulations are pretty much the same. The hours a little bit different, so we're going to make sure they're all consistent. And I think once we get this to Frankfurt and ABC signs off on it, we got to get Attorney General approval with these type of agreements. That takes some time sometimes. I don't know what happened this year, but hopefully by next year, sign off. You can go from one area to the other area with your own branded cups. We'll have our own branded cups for each district, but you're allowed to take either one under this interlocal agreement.
We're probably the first ones in the Commonwealth to do this.
I don't know if there are any other cities that really have flooding districts. But, yeah, it's pretty cool. We were talking about when kicking off and it happens, and maybe we can do a joint pub crawl starting in one city. and one
Just go back and forth across O'Fallon with your cups, just to flaunt it. Do we have any questions or comments? Or a motion?
Move to accept Resolution 2024-18R.
Motion by Member Volter. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Member Kelly. Roll call, please.
Member Wyrick?
Aye.
Member Volter?
Aye.
Member Neary?
Aye.
Member Neiman?
Aye.
Member Kelly?
Aye.
Moving right along, we got 4 left. Order Resolution 2024-19R.
An order resolution of the City Council of the City of Dayton, Kentucky, authorizing the mayor to execute and deliver an acknowledgement and consent to mortgage, security agreement, and assignment agreement to facilitate the extension of a commercial loan from Metropolitan Capital Bank and Trust to Manhattan Development Co. LLC, and further authorizing such other actions as may be required in furtherance of the foregoing.
I think this,
Another complicated title there. So this involves a parcel E of the riverfront development projects here, and that's this parcel right here down in Kenny. Previously, the Sullivan Group had development rights for this property when they engaged with Mr. Bowden to build a gateway. There's some dispute now whether they still do or not, but they do have a mortgage currently on this property. They're trying to refinance it. They're financing for a lot of their developments, and in order to do that, they need an acknowledgement from the city that they have a mortgage on the property and they can be a mortgage on property finance purposes. We're okay with it. Our lawyers looked at it. It doesn't resolve the underlying dispute about who has development rights here. That's between the master developer and the sub-developer, which is Mark Stark's old company and the Sullivan Company. That's going to be arbitrated apparently to make a determination on that. And but this does not affect that. It allows them to refinance the properties and use that to further development in the development area. Donnie Warner directed this. He's negotiated with them. He's our public finance lawyer, so I'm very confident in his work. And so I can recommend approval of this.
So any questions on this, council? Comments? How about a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Member Neiman.
Second.
By
Second.
Member Volter. Let's do a roll call. Keep it rolling.
Member Volter?
Aye.
Member Neary?
Aye.
Member Neiman?
Aye.
Member Kelly?
Aye.
Member Wyrick?
Aye.
Passed unanimously once again. Order Resolution 2024-20R.
An order resolution declaring city-owned real property at 705 Vine Street as surplus property and authorizing the mayor to sell or otherwise dispose of this property as permitted under Kentucky law.
So this is a resolution that goes also with the next 121R, all the same property. We had property on Vine Street, which was a real mess. It was a hoarder situation. We had animals that were living there without any people living there. There was animal excrement all over the place. It was a really bad situation. Cassie did a great job of, using code enforcement to try to get this moved along. Ultimately, it was sold at a foreclosure sale. We were able to buy the property in the foreclosure sale under the granted right. So in other words, we paid 2/3 less than what the appraiser said the properties were. We had to wait 6 months to sell the property. That 6 months ended in April, and then August 1st. So we now have a developer who wants to rehab it and flip it into a single-family homeowner-occupied property. We've done these before. He did one on David Street, a great job there, and another property here. So we're recommending that you declare this a surplus property, and the next one that we enter into an agreement, selling the property to them for $50,000. So we're actually making a little bit of money on this project. 22,000.
It's more about getting property cleaned up
That's the
and
main-
occupied.
And on the tax rolls,
That's a big part of it too. So any questions or comments from
Yes.
council?
So AHC Holdings,
Yes.
are they the only ones that expressed interest?
If someone else expressed interest, they only want to pay what we pay for. So we had an experience where we had one of the properties and we put it on the real estate market, and unfortunately, this was up on 7, the first bought it, just turned into rental property again. It wasn't what we wanted to do as a homeowner. So we know that this gentleman will put this into a homeowner, who does good work. So I feel more confident doing that than putting it on the market. So this is similar to what Belby's done, a couple of developers there, and other cities do. You trust this developer, they do good work, and they're going to have a property that is, a home, single-family home property and not a rental property.
So what are you selling it to them for?
$50,000. So we purchased it with
26.
26,000. So it's a $24,000. That goes back in their economic development fund. We're using those monies to buy these properties, to tear them down. So that's a diminishing fund. So anytime we get these funds, we can push that back into our economic development funds to continue this code enforcement.
And that would be under 21R as far as who we're selling it to. 20R that we're voting on right now is strictly to declare it as surplus property.
Which we're required to.
Right.
Right.
You said they were together.
Correct. But we have to vote on them separately.
Okay.
Do we have a motion or any other questions actually on 2024-20R? Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by member Neiman and a second.
I'll second.
Second by member Kelly. Let's do a roll call.
Member Neary,
Aye.
Member Neiman.
Aye.
Member Kelly,
Aye.
Member Wyrick.
Aye.
Member Volter.
Aye.
Okay. So we'll move on to 21R.
An order resolution of the City Council of the City of Dayton, Kentucky, approving the sale of 705 Vine Street, Dayton, Kentucky, to AHC Holdings LLC.
So do we have any discussion on this? Was it covered already? Okay, I need a motion on 2024 or 2024. Actually, this says 2022. I don't know if it's misprinted, but it should be 2024.
21R.
Oh,
I move to accept
Motion by member
2024,
Volter,
21R.
I'll second that.
Second by member Walker. Do a roll call.
Member Neiman.
Aye.
Member Kelly,
Aye.
Member Wyrick,
Aye.
Member Volter,
Aye.
Member Neary.
Aye. This is the last one. Order resolution 2024-22 Romeo.
An order resolution authorizing the city administrator to purchase properties in foreclosure sales conducted by the Campbell County Master Commissioner for which the city is owed taxes, fines, or other expenses, and establishing guidelines for purchasing such properties.
So at our last meeting, I wasn't here, but I was in some discussion about what properties the city was buying. And so what I did was, in one of the parameters for that, so I put this together so we had a clear parameter of what authority I have when I go to foreclosure sale. We have no idea what this property should be sold for when you go there. So we do know what the appraised value is, that the court appointed appraiser set at it. And we know also that we have to pay 2/3 of that in order to get the property uncovered. Otherwise, we have to wait 6 months and that property owner can come back and buy that property by paying whatever you pay for it. So the best practice is to do 2/3 or whatever that. So what this recommends is that, or if we just want to, we're not interested in that property anyway, that we just get our recover our attorney's fees, our fines, or anything we owe on that. So I have the option if we just want to get our money out of it, let anybody else buy it. We do that because it's a really nice house and we don't need to rehab it. We probably just put it in money, but it's one that looks like it could be really change the neighborhood. We might want to acquire it and then have someone buy it and fix it up. So basically it says, one, we can get all our fees, attorney's fees, interest, or we can pay 2/3 of $100 above that amount in order to acquire the property. So those are the two options I have if I go to a courthouse sale. Our experiences so far, when we bought the properties, we've sold them for more than we paid for. We're not going to buy something that, and they're really good properties. We bid early on to get our money and then they take it away. We're not even involved. So the only time we really get them is when they're really so bad that nobody wants them. So that's what this does.
And the appraised value, would that be based on the last PVA? It says,
The court appoints, they call housekeepers, the court appointed appraisers, they go, the master commissioner appoints these, they go to the property, look at it and say, we believe the property is worth this much. In the old days, they could just be any citizen, but now they're generally hiring appraisers to do that. So
Okay.
they're the ones that decide the value of the property, that's the right of redemption amount.
so if you were to go to one of these auctions and the price exceeds 2/3 of the appraised value plus $100,
I don't have authority to purchase.
great.
Wait, say that again? You do not have full authority?
So once I've reached that limit, once I've paid that, anybody can acquire the property. I mean, I've been told that I can only pay up to 2/3 plus $100.
Oh, and then if they fight you, you can't go any higher.
And then,
Okay.
yeah, so anybody can buy it with that.
So it's only a attempt to make this definitive and you're not going to wait around for 6
Right.
months, but you can't fight off another.
Can't call you
Bidder.
all and then an auction say, hey, you buy this
Yeah.
property, this is the amount of money. I have to create some sort of guidelines. That's
Any more discussion on 2024-22R? How about a roll call?
Somebody needs to make a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll make the motion.
That's right, we started talking first. It's usually my job. Do I have a motion on 2024-22R? You're making the motion? Motion by member Neiman. I have a second by member
I'll second that motion.
Walker. And roll call, please.
Member Kelly.
Aye.
Member Wyrick.
Aye.
Member Volter.
Aye.
Member Neary.
Aye.
Member Neiman.
Good job, Tristan. Next, we have department directors' monthly reports. We'll go right to left. Cassie? For code enforcement, please.
You have a copy of my report. Angie's been working really hard on the rental licensing, so that's kind of coming to an end as far as citations, citation wise. What else do we have going on? Bill he's been down at Velo this week. He is 265 units he's inspecting this week. Those should be pretty good. I mean, they're brand new. So, and then he is pretty well close to being completed with the rental inspections. So then he's going to we have a couple projects we have him kind of working on. One being house numbers. We're going to really focus on people having their house numbers on their homes. and sidewalks. And other than that, it's moving right along.
Cassie, is there a standard house number that, I mean, we got one where it's painted 5 feet around.
There is a certain measurement. I don't know right off the top of my head, but it is a certain measurement. But I do see several of those that are drawn in chalk
Well, it looks
that
like
are,
bl- Looks like blight. to me.
massive.
I mean,
So, yeah, we're gonna work on those.
okay.
So are you gonna put it on Facebook or on the website? Start putting your numbers up because we're coming.
We'll get that on there.
It's a health and safety issue.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I like to tell people, that don't have, they're like, what do you mean I need house? It's like if the fire department, if your house is burning, you want them there and you want them to be able to see those numbers. So that's pretty important. And we have a lot of places that do not have a house number. So yeah, we're going to work on that and work on the sidewalks.
Usually we'll give them notice, ask them to do it.
Yes.
And we'll follow up.
Yes. And that's a pretty easy fix.
And it's funny because a lot of times, oh, I didn't get my Amazon package.
And a lot of people don't even realize it.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, we painted the house last year and we took it down and we forgot to put it back up or, whatever. So that's a pretty easy fix. But other than that, you have any questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Chiefs, which chief wants to go first? Chief Atkins. You got to go anyway, and it's almost 9:00.
And we're early. It's still early. U-Haul item report, not a whole lot to add to it. We did get a hire, but we did lose one as well, so we're still too short. Fireworks stuff's ramping up, Riverfest, so they've already had some meetings. We will have our fireboat out on the river that night. I'll be out. We'll have our guys on duty as well. Hopefully it's a quiet night for us. Other than that, we have a fire board meeting next Wednesday, the 21st. That's the date, right? 21st, yeah, 6 o'clock. Other than that, I have not much else to report.
So we're down 2.
We're down 2.
How's recruiting efforts going?
We're fighting we're all fighting for the bites of the same apple. Newport's got a bunch, they're hiring a bunch. Other departments are hiring as well. And there's just not a lot out there. And
I've
the ones,
seen a lot of retirements too in the past. couple
exactly. So,
months. Any questions for Chief?
like
Thank
everybody
you, sir.
else, we'll keep doing it. So,
Thank you, sir.
all right. Thank you.
Chief Hatfield, I think you're next on the agenda.
Yeah, I have my monthly report. I don't have really too much to add. We were down 1. We just hired a couple days ago. So we have another female coming to the force. She'll be coming from the airport police department. And you might see her around town during the week this week. She'll be on days doing administrative duties. So until she goes on seconds. So finally full staff. We are losing Officer Wilkie. He was part-time. He was filling in to help out, but his job with the VA doesn't allow him, he got a new spot with the VA, doesn't allow him to have secondary employment. So the part-time gig. So I don't know, maybe he'll show up in the next couple of years, but school is starting tomorrow. So we'll be visible down at school. We don't know how the traffic pattern's going to go. I did see the school put something out on their website just to remind people how the school traffic is. I contacted Sergeant Lynn Kugel to reshare that on our Facebook page so people do show it. The only change that's going to happen is Berry Street in front of St. Bernard's, which is 5th and Berry, will only be going east to west. You can't go into Lincoln Elementary from Berry Street. We're going to have that closed. We'll have a barricade there, and then I told Officer Wiley to park his cruiser behind that barricade in case you have some sneakers going through there. So, sometimes the barricade doesn't deter people. So he might be there. He might turn his lights on. I told him just be visible. And I think that's pretty much it. Didn't have too much to add.
Yeah, good luck tomorrow morning. It's-
Yeah, it's always,
How
always,
much you put the word out, there's going to be people.
there,
who
it's,
know
it's
about it.
always going to be a challenge. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we got a new field coming out of it, so we all have to make sacrifices to move forward. So this is just going to be a little bump of the road. So hopefully, it won't be too much. And I did contact Hansman's also to see if they can get their delivery trucks to try to come after 8 o'clock. He said the food truck, they don't have any they have no control over. So he'll try his best to try to keep the trucks out of the way too, to avoid any type of impediment into the traffic. So hopefully hopefully knock on wood, it'll be smooth.
Well, my main concern is the kids trying to cross. I mean,
Yes.
they're excited, they're really excited to get back to school, I'm sure. But,
Yeah.
just the different traffic patterns, the kids, especially trying to cross Clay Street from the east end of town.
Yeah. So the reason the pattern is still staying from Clay Street from east to west in front of Lincoln on Fifth, the school brought up, it makes a valid point. Instead of changing it, we were going to change the direction, come from west to east. So that way they can kind of come through and then circle back around to the high school. But if we do that, then the kids will be getting out on the opposite street side instead of actually curbside. And they want them to be curbside, so they're not running in between cars and things like that. So, which, is a valid point. So we kept it the way it is now. So it is still the same direction it's been for, I think, the last 2 years. So east to west.
We'll see how it works out.
We'll see.
Make some changes down. the
If we have to
road.
make changes, we'll try to help out.
All right. Any questions for Chief? Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Assistant City Administrator report. Do you have anything to report, Mr. Clark? You were hoping I'd call you after, weren't you?
Just a couple small things, and I've already sent all of you this in your emails. First, we're going to start working on the TAP tank grant, it's called, and that is going to be installing trash can receptacles, benches, some concrete pads, and some other things, and some sharrows, those arrows that are going to go on the pavement that tells drivers to watch out for bikers. Those will be going, we'll be starting that process soon. This final Friday, we're having a polka band playing. So we're going to theme it as like an Oktoberfest, calling it Ogtoberfest because it's August. So I'm planning a small pub crawl with that. So you should be seeing that on social media and in the newsletter. The park board held a climate safe neighborhoods meeting a couple weeks ago. It was well attended. Some of the council were there. They talked about the climate in the city and how we have more air pollution compared to other neighboring cities because we don't have as many trees as they do. So they were encouraging us to plant those. They also had some interactive activities with the crowd, and they're going to be giving us the results to that. So we'll post that on all the social media and give that over to you as well. We've already talked about the Bellevue Dayton entertainment districts coming together. Joe was correct in that it is the first of its kind. That's why the state told us no first. And so we pushed further, and then now they're going to let us do it. Last thing, we're creating a commemorative bench program. And this will allow community members to purchase a bench for one of our parks, and they could put a brass plaque on it commemorating a family member or something. We've had people ask about this, and Bellevue does the same thing. So we'll be starting that program. And so you should be seeing stuff about that coming up. Sure. So the Sargent Park Trail Grant Program, we have awarded the contract to Cora Cincinnati Off-Road Alliance, and they're also going to be utilizing Groundwork. Both of those companies have extensive experience in Sargent Park. I anticipate them getting started in the next couple weeks with that project. I don't believe that we're going to be closing down the park during that time, so it'll still be open to the public, and they know to work around the people and whatever. So that should be getting started. And it's about $100,000 worth of trail work, grading, signage, and things like that. So.
We've also talked recently with one in KY, they're trying to put together a whole trail system in North Kentucky and connecting all the trails in the different cities, not just the Riverfront Commons Trail, but the trails like Sergeant Park and others. And how we can connect to Sergeant Park from Riverfront Commons, going up Lincoln Pike, Belmont, little areas within the property. So they very early stages of that, and it's a pretty good project.
In the Climate Safe Neighborhood meeting, that was a bonus for us, wasn't it? I mean, they didn't have this in any other communities. They really targeted Dayton.
Yeah, they targeted us just because of the air pollution factor. I should also say that we got $5,000 for hosting that meeting that went into the park board fund. So well worth it.
And they bought all the food from Kate.
Right. Yeah.
But no, that's going to be a focus moving forward with the Climate Safe. I don't,
We have an urban canopy grant out right now. It's 100%. So we won't have to have any match. It's a grant out for, I think, $64,000. And that is twofold. One half is going to be for planning and design where we can place trees. And the second portion will be for actually buying of the trees. We should know in September if we got that or not.
how did we get on their radar? Is that you?
I'm assuming it's Tanner with groundwork.
Thanks to Tanner.
So I was not able to attend that meeting, and unfortunately, and I'm very interested in this tree situation. And I went and got the my mail from the city building today, and they had. I wish I brought it, but they made a very scary little map there of how we've kind of migrated from sort of a semi not great green zone to sort of a red nasty ozone green zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just noticed this year because I'm in Bellevue like probably 4 or 5 times walking my daughter's dog, and they leveled all the trees on, I think it's poplar, and they took it back. And the change, I have a little routine. The dog likes to go a certain way, and the poplar has become a sweltering hellhole from those trees. And they're like, well, we planted this, and it's like, oh. And I mean, the difference, it must be a 15-degree difference. And then and so I kind of had my route depending on the heat. And the heat is like everywhere. There's hardly any good streets. I'm always like running around here. And then that made me suddenly more conscious around here. Like, we also have a lot of sweltering hellhole streets. And I think that we really need to start, climate change, whatever, it's hot. And I don't think we can think we have this walkable community when it's so awful. And I know that I've spoken about it before, and there's been kind of like pushback, like, those are really, that's a lot of money to maintain, and God forbid they need to be taken down. And I know that we had a tree taken down last year, and it was $4,000, which was shocking. So I know that that's a problem, but I feel like it's very important that we have these nice, shady, cool, healthy areas, and we need to find a way to budget, unfortunately.
We do have a lot.
And when they have to actually come down eventually.
Sure. We do have a line item in our budget specific to trees. Most of the time that money is used to take trees down, but it can also be used to put more up. And we apply for the county extension grant every year. So Monument Park now has maple trees in it where it didn't before. So we're slowly getting there year after year. We're just planting more and more. Yeah. We actually ran out of tree wells, which are the spaces in the sidewalk where you can plant a tree. All the ones that we currently have are now full. So now we're going to have to look and maybe pull section of the concrete up or whatever we have to do moving forward. But that grant and that plan will tell us more information.
And so you said that you're going to get some kind of response from Tanner Gas eventually. You said that they were going to come back with something for us.
With regard to the tree plan?
Groundwork, that meeting, I don't know, they were going to come, yeah.
Yeah, so Groundworks was involved in that climate safe neighborhood meeting. I think Joe was asking, how did they know to come to Dayton? And I think that Tanner had like a, yeah, so there, yeah, so the activities that the crowd did, they put stickers on maps and different activities and stuff. They're going to give us the results to that. They're going to compile all that information.
And they also had other ideas that are used in other communities, like lighter colored asphalt.
Yeah.
Or placement of signage, et cetera. So some of the ideas that they had on there could apply to us here. I thought it was a great little program. I look forward to getting more input from them.
For sure.
More ideas.
Is there a way to review what was talked about in that meeting or not really? I sent him an email. I don't know, like.
So if you have the maps already, that was kind of the majority of the speaking part, I think, was just talking about those maps and why they are the way they are. But I think the interactive activities and getting those maps, that's where we're going to get our information for, because it's the community essentially saying what they wanted to see in their community, like where they wanted trees to be and where they wanted different surfaces and things like that.
Any other questions?
Okay.
Thank you, sir. We did get a dog, animal control report, just in writing. That Chihuahua seems to be running around a lot, keeping her busy. Yeah. All right, next we have the city administrator's report.
Just a couple of things. Southgate Partners sold the wayfinding sign at the beginning of the Riverfront Commons River's Edge Trail this week. I think maybe yesterday. It looks great. There will be another one going up there at the top of Barry. And these are wayfinding signs to tell people how to get to different places. And then we'll have smaller signs within the city proper itself to tell you how to get to the trail. So it's all part of our plan wayfinding that they're doing in all the river cities that are part of Southgate Partners. So it's really good. The other thing is that the electronic kiosk that we want to put up here at the top of the Barry is the concrete's been done, it's been wired, and we think it might be installed as early as this Friday. So within the next week or so, it will be installed. City staff that went to a training session on how to program it and put in different information about what we have like Final Friday. We put advertisements on there about that, things of that nature. So it's going to take a little time to kind of learn the system, but it seems pretty simple. We used to use a WordPress. It's very similar to that. So that will be exciting to have information. It's all map based. So basically, you can have things hit restaurants, and it shows you where the restaurants are in the city, and then you hit that, and there's a QR code that you scan, and it will actually walk you on your Google Maps from that down to the restaurant. So same thing with our trails. It will show you the trails and tell you how to get to it. And shops and city hall, anything that is on the map on that kiosk will help you get there by walking or biking or driving. I guess you want to pull over and check that too. But anyway, we're pretty excited about that, and that should be done in the next couple weeks. The other thing is that we've learned that our museum has been renovated inside. It's beautiful thanks to Councilmember Neary and his paint expertise, but we also just acquired 9 beautiful wooden display cabinets for that museum, and they're going to be delivered tomorrow, I think. And I think they're going to be fabulous in there. So I saw some pictures of them, and they're really nice, and we got a pretty good deal on them. So that will be great. I think they are hoping to have it open this fall. So once we get those in there, they can start doing what they need to do to make that happen. That's all I got.
And on the kiosk, the mayor sent me a link to a video of some guy hitting it with a 4x4. Good-sized guy swinging a 4x4 at it and did not damage it. So these are vandal proof. It's not a challenge.
Criminal?
Not a challenge. No, it was a demo by the vendor.
Oh, okay. I thought somebody was like,
It was a
okay.
demonstration by the vendor at a trade
Oh,
show.
okay.
This guy
Oh, okay.
hit it smack on with a 4x4
Okay.
a couple times, and it still worked. So you can still run over the car, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that up there. And I know the businesses in town are too.
The great thing is that you've got the trail there that everybody uses. And, this will encourage people to go into our great restaurants and bars and coffee shops.
And we can invite them to city council meetings
Sure.
once a month. Great. That all you have, sir?
That's all I have.
Busy month. Now open to comments from the audience. Anybody from the audience? Come up, give your name and address. Nothing?
Oh, yes, I got it.
Okay.
I happen to live at 256 Manhattan Boulevard, apartment 417. It's a development built by the Manhattan Development Group. And I'm wearing, when I went back to my apartment after this meeting last month, there was water dripping from my ceiling. And it hasn't been fixed. They turned off the air conditioning units in both buildings because there's water problems. I believe Cassie may have gone over to inspect one of the apartments, number 414 and 284, and she's now a neighbor of mine. I talked to the manager today, and he told me that I had to request to get my ceiling fixed in my apartment. But if you look at this is in the hall. Okay. That's the hall. They have not done anything. Hey, these are the people you're dealing with. And I see them as they don't take care of their property. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else from the audience? Name and address, please, sirs.
Name is Jerry Huntley, 585 Manhattan Boulevard. Just wanted to give everybody an update. We did officially get the HOA up and 100% going. We've had our first and second meeting now. As you'll notice, the entry area has been completely cleaned up. And our mistake was that, and I just wanted to let the council know that the contractor did put some waste area on some private property. I got the phone call. Life is good. No. That's why I get paid the big bucks. So that's getting taken care of this coming week, and I've already reached out to him a couple times. He's fine, no problems at all. I do get constantly asked a couple questions. Is there a way? And they thought that it was through our HOA, but it's not. I have several people walking up on the top area levee wall, asking for more trash cans to throw their doggy deposits away. There's one like here and one, they're minimal. And as much stuff as Beth and I pick up in a daily basis, we could definitely use some help on that if possible. And then the question always gets asked to me, have you heard anything about the trail and when they're going to start? And I said, I will ask again, just as a courtesy.
We're in the queue. I think we moved it pretty close, and I'm waiting, hopefully any day to get work. We have the bid ready to go out. We had it ready to go out.
Can you guys somewhere post that so that they think that it's on us and it's not on us. All of the people that are living up through there, every one of them has stopped me and said, hey, can you help us get this cleaned out? And I'm like, I have nothing to do with that.
The issue is that's an OKI grant. Federal government requires KYTC to sign off on it. We can't move a shovel full of dirt until that happens. And we've had it, the plan's been done for a year. That's how slow it's been. So I'm as frustrated as you are.
I'm with you. We need to communicate this from your guys' point of view so that it's not falling back looking like it's part of the HOA, which it is not. Okay, so if you guys would take that on your backs and shoulder the blunt and say, hey, it's on our end, here's what the deal is, I would greatly appreciate it. Okay? It's the people who are leasing / renting, the two families all the way up through from pretty much our property on up. There's been 2 units sold. The Larkins, all of those people, I get asked constantly. Okay. And then the only other comment that I get made was, and I know that,
Cassie.
yeah, just wanted to make sure I had it right. I thought I did, was making sure that the properties are mowed. And I know she's been on top of that. Some of it has been completely mowed, but there's still stuff down there that's this tall. And the worst part of it is it's when you get back down in the area that Brendan should be taking care of constantly and it's not happening. And then there's a couple other private residences that we've had to send letters to, et cetera. So, and then my other question was, did you get the money that you required for this 2024-15R? Okay. So nothing is moving forward. That's all I care. Thank you.
Mr. Huntley, you mentioned that the HOA is now an official entity, correct?
Yes.
What properties are included on that HOA?
Just the entrance here. And we were told that we would be responsible for a little bit of entry area at the Berry Street location.
Okay. Well, I mean, as far as which buildings are included, is his gateway building?
No. Well, yeah, actually. Yeah, that's kind of a good point. As far as paying HOA fees, yes, if you have entrance, ingress, egress on Manhattan Boulevard, then you are to be paying to the association based on $5 a linear foot. And that money is then used, and we have spent over $10,000 getting this all redone up through here, new flags, new whatever. We appreciate you guys helping out with some of the flags prior to, but we'll take that responsibility from now on. And then again, we are having issues with our one vendor paying us. We've received nothing. So we are going to take those legal actions if we have to get them to pay so that we do have reserves, et cetera, that we do not have. But yes, everything down through there, everyone has paid except Brendan Sullivan's entities. Okay.
Including Manhattan on the River
Oh yeah.
and Velo
Yes. And the marina.
and the Marina.
Yes. Everybody has paid.
Congrats on putting that together finally,
Yes. It's been a chore.
I'm sure.
Believe me. So any other questions?
What was the outcome of that back and forth with Jay and they have all these questions for you and so you're going to run back and tell them that there's no forward motion, or is the city going to put something on the website
Oh.
addressing your issues?
It-
What was-
The other thing I was requesting is if maybe in one of your formal website pages or something, you can say, here's where we're at on the trail. We are waiting on this lady's to sign off on it so that I can then send them to that website and say, here's the real story so that I don't tell you the wrong thing.
Jay, did you hear that?
So, yeah.
Put it on the website so that he can refer people to where it says on the website what the status is of the trail project.
Yeah,
so that
it's a piece of cake.
He's not
Yeah.
put upon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask if it could just be like a section of the newsletter all the time, where we like have a little
Maybe
tally
all
of the
it.
projects that are in progress and maybe just like just a bullet point, sort of an update on it. Nothing
Yeah.
super detailed, but at least you can see whether or not something's moving along or where it might be hung up.
Where should these people look?
All these reports, all these department reports are on the city council meetings. You can get agenda minutes after they're approved and the department report all there. It's all there. So that'd be a good source of information for them there. And that might be a good place to put your city administrator report.
I'll be happy to do something.
Okay.
I mean, that's exactly what I told you that we're waiting.
Yeah.
Okay. I was president of a condo association in Columbus for 12 years. Is it okay if I address this gentleman or should I do it privately of what he needs to do to get his work done?
Privately, leave the city.
You got it. Thank you.
Sir. All right. Any new business from council? I do.
I think it's old.
No, bring it up.
I have a question about the status. Okay. What's going on 10th and Urban Terrace and all the parking and traffic issues? And there was going to be like a study or something on should it be a one way or whatever,
So-
fire truck?
So we did have Mike Yeager look into it, that recommendation I tried to get. We have another issue with I think like fire. I think they have similar issues with the work smaller there. So I think we'll address that as well. But I think we'll do about that.
Is that Silver Avenue?
What Mike is told me.
What? What?
I can do a report to you about what Mike has recommended.
Okay.
with respect to that, and I'll tell you that next week.
What was the problem on Dayton? Is it on
Dayton Pike,
steep
the
Dayton?
same issue, love where he lives, we've got the same issue, people parking on sidewalks.
Yeah.
Problem up there is that the street up there, it's even smaller.
Yeah.
Than down there, so you have to do something up there as well, and that's not gonna be as, it's gonna be more problematic probably up there, because you don't have the room that you have down on 10, from Irving. So, yeah, I'll put something together for you based on what his recommendations are.
Okay, and then that's gonna be it? Like, that's what you're gonna go with?
Well, and you all decide if you wanna
Okay,
follow the recommendations. So-
okay,
so No matter what motion you make, somebody's not gonna be happy about it.
Yeah.
I know that.
Anyone else?
A lot of people have been complaining about the dust and the gravel and stuff in the gutters on the avenue there. It's clearly coming from off the dump trucks. Do we have any sort of recourse with the company for that, or that can they help us clean that up,
So
or?
we had three things going on at the same time, which is part of the reason why it's bad. It's better now. We had construction behind the school, which is dragging a lot of
Yeah.
away from that construction site. We had a lot of trucks taking fill down to the marina, fill it. And the biggest issue, I think, was Red Knot was doing a lot of excavation up on 10th Avenue. The good news is that they basically shut down, they were taking it all down to Marina 2.
Mhm.
They don't have roof from now, so they're no longer bringing it down the avenue from Red Knot. I think Red Knot's pretty much done with their, I guess they're terracing there for the next construction phase.
Mhm.
I think they're pretty much done. And so most of the traffic coming in is now trucks from Rumpke, like,
Oh, yeah, it's the red.
O'Hare.
Aurora.
Aurora. And they do a pretty good job. Aurora keeps the loads relatively low and they put
The
flaps.
tarp over it,
So,
yeah.
What we have been doing is advising the chiefs on this before, hey, you got to put your flaps on. But I think the biggest issue was Red Dot and behind the school. And that was just because it's not any rain and all that stuff. But Rick did go clean it, and we have told that the people in Marina that's doing that we expect them to bring a truck out and clean that. So
Mhm.
we haven't had rain too. Which is another
Yeah,
issue.
of course.
So, but Rick did clean it, I think last Thursday or something, and better than it was, but it's been a problem.
Mhm.
And I think part of the problem is that they had a lot of trucks that they were sending to fill that marina. And I think they're getting close to finishing up on that. So I looked at it today just to check. They're bringing clean fill in now, covering up all the drops. I'm assuming they're getting to the point where they're ready to finish that work. So that's the main problem.
Okay.
Yeah, we have been in top touch with it. Rick and I have been talking to the contractor, manager, the construction company, Great Back County Schools about our concerns. And we've also talked to Red Knot about it. Red Knot, I think, is done, so it should be a problem.
Okay.
And the other problem is when it does rain, the mud sticks to the truck tires.
Right.
You know, yeah, it's been dry, which is maybe best.
Right.
I mean, there's no rain washing the streets off, but it's less dirt on the streets, I think. And yeah, I know with Red Knot coming down, what is that, Maple up there? There were some issues online about that also, but
Walnut, I think.
Walnut? No, it was Maple.
Maple's the short, that is through the lake. And Walnut comes down.
You're right. Apologize for that. I had a recommendation for council to reroute Route 8. If you go to the next slide there, Jared. Currently, as everybody knows, you turn left on Clay, go down to 4th, and turn right on 4th. Problem is, you got Lincoln there with a lot of kids walking back and forth. You've got Hansman's extra exit there, and you've also got the tank bus stop there at the top of Clay Street. these trucks coming around, and we're always going to have trucks going in the industrial zone, making that left-hand turn, people not leaving enough room, everybody's in a hurry. That's really become a pinch point now. There are, if you follow that route from 6th and Clay to 4th and Main, there are 34 houses that have their front door facing that route, just as a matter of reference, and most of them have on-street parking. If you go to the next slide, this is what I'm proposing to reroute it. It's Main Street, but it's not our main street. All we have to do is take it 1 block further east before they turn down Main Street and then turn right on 4th Avenue. That takes the traffic away from the schools. There are only 25 homes that front that. And right there between 4th and 5th on Main, that whole block there on the east side is no parking already. The street width is exactly the same as Clay Street, so there's no pinching there. And with the garage there at the corner of 6th and Main, it's a lot easier turn than getting around that bus stop. So on the next slide, as I said, 34 homes, difficult to turn. That new traffic flow, which is going to be fun to watch. But they are busy pedestrian crossings, especially there around Hansman's, even just coming parallel to 6th. But with all the kids walking to and from school, and I know in the mornings everybody's in a hurry, just making that extra turn. This is primarily for the trucks and the through traffic. If you reroute it, the Main Street intersection, you could have a sign there saying Fort Thomas this way, Silver Grove that way. But the main priority is to get them away from the school. So on the next slide, I think this, correct me if I'm wrong legally here, but I'm presuming City Council would have to vote to direct the mayor to submit a formal request to our friends at KYTC to approve the change. They might want to do a traffic study. They'll probably.
Apparently they do when we ask them to do that.
Right. And then all we'd have to do is move the signs. That's it. There wouldn't be any restriping needed or anything like that.
In the future, that they would repave that section instead of section on.
Right.
Like,
So do we need council approval on that or?
I don't only need council approval, but you're welcome to do a resolution or a resolution, either directing, I would say, Mary and me to, and I'll call our city mayor, find out about that.
Okay.
Work with the highway department.
Understood.
Order resolution authorizing the mayor and city administrator to reach out to KYTC to request, assuming that you all are okay with that, maybe probably discussion about it,
Well,
request a change.
I think we're okay with it. I just think if we have to have a daggone traffic study done, it's going to take forever. So I think we emphasize the safety issue. Somebody is going to get hurt, with all of the additional traffic and those huge trucks going down there. You need to take action now. This is a no-brainer. I mean, they don't need to do a traffic study.
I know.
I know they want to, but
Essentially, the same traffic's going to go there.
those trucks, like I said, I would emphasize it's a tremendous safety issue. And we don't want somebody, especially a child, getting hit, because we've got this increase due to closing of Green Devil Lane, going down Clay Street. It's been an issue anyway. It's even without that. But I just think we emphasize it's a tremendous safety issue and a liability. So,
Well, it's anticipated that your pedestrian traffic's going to increase down there with the new footballs, with the new fields and all of that. There'll just be even more people, on the street there.
Yeah, I'll be happy to do that. But I
Appreciate it.
will vote on that, recommend do that, and Mary do that.
Does everybody on council agree with this or any other questions?
No, I agree with it.
Yeah.
Agree with it.
It's a no-brainer.
Verbal roll call, go for it. And as Mr. Volter said, this is an urgent situation. We can't wait 10 years like we did on this pump house.
So this is a voice order resolution directing the city administrator and the mayor to reach out to KYPC and ask that they consider this change in an expedient manner and have it done as quickly as possible.
I'm in a lawyer sandwich here. Is that correct? All right. Well, thank you. Hopefully that will allay some fears and hopefully straighten up some of the traffic issues down there. Any other new business? Do we have cause for executive session?
We do, and then later, some of the agendas they don't have on here, but the later one does have an executive session. It should be brief, but can you read into the record what the session is for?
Executive session pursuant to KRS 61.810(1)C, discussion of proposed or pending litigation against or on behalf of the public agency.
Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So move.
Second?
Second. Nope.
By Volter and Kelly.
You need to have a vote.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.